I looked through that peephole. All I saw was narcotics going across the front. I said, oh, God damn. So I'm tiptoeing to the back, like, oh, shit. Because I don't want them to hear me just running, you know. So I tiptoed my way to the back. Now I done grabbed all these guns, the drugs. I'm throwing stuff all in my drawers. And on the couch we had the kind where, you know, you hit the thing and it lifts your legs up. Mm-hmm. So I took all the pistols and I shoved them up under there and closed it up. I had an AK-47 in the closet, what I just bought maybe a week ago from Lou. So, you know, I'm scared it's a bite on it, you know. So they come bust on in. They bust in the house. I'm like, okay, you know. So they like, yeah, you sitting there, you coach? Like, yes, sir. You know. So now they searching and searching. So they done pulled out you know, the big large trash bag. But it was empty, you know, because I had sold everything by the time they came. But, you know, it's still residue and stuff in the bag. So they see this and they like, hey, you got some more in here. Where the money? Where the shoe boxes? Where all the dope at? I said, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. So they find the gun, the AK. They didn't find all the other stuff I hid. So they running the gun now. I'm just sitting there just listening, waiting, like, please don't say this gun got a body. Please, Lord, please, because who I got it from, ooh, it might be one on there. One of the agents say, what's going on with these tennis shoes? All the people we talk to, they saying your name, saying you selling shoes. I said, no, that ain't true, sir. I said, now, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I bought a pair. But this selling stuff, I don't know what you talking about. I said, man, I got from a white man in the van in the parking lot at Popeyes on Greenwood Road. I kept feeding them that. After that, it's like they got in a group huddle or something, you know, like they all chatting amongst each other, just. So next thing I know, they come up out that huddle like, ready, break. And when he come up out, he looked at me just square in my eyes. He said, hey, so you mean to tell me that your mama wasn't pulling up in that pretty blue Cadillac of hers giving you shoes to get to the students? So I'm trying to hold my face expression and, you know, and because he ain't lying.
Right.
Because my mama was doing it. It felt like Mike Tyson hit me in my stomach or something, just like, you know, I'm like, I don't know. So I kept my face straight. I said, hey, don't you never put my mama in a lie like that again. Never. I said, my mama would never participate in something like this. Never. And they tapped our phone. So my dad said, hey, they coming. And they tapped our phone. You know, you can tell when your phone tag it, back in the day, you do a lot of clicking, make a little click noise. Mm-hmm. Click, 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 click. You know? So I used to be on the phone, I hear the shit. I used to talk to them. I used to be on the phone with girls and stuff, and I hear that little clicking noise. I just be like, hey, I ain't got no goddamn shoes. I don't know why y'all listening. You know, just shit like that with them. So my dad said, hey, they coming. Yeah, he coming. Because we still had boxes in the house. Even though we sold most of them, you know, but we still had empty boxes, and we had like a shed in the back of the house. There were boxes all in there. So my dad said, hey, they coming. They coming. Y'all get this shit out of here. So me and my mom, we got all the boxes, broke them down. We took them down the road to an apartment complex and threw them in they dumpster. Yeah, I'm thinking I outsmarted the law. This is my mind, like, they really fell for this shit. I outsmarted the feds, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, they believe that shit? Hey, you know. So weeks go by. One of my crew members, Courtney O'Bannon, I never forgot this day. He called me one night. He was like, Sunday night. He said, man, I got these two girls. Man, we need to get them. We get us a hotel room, you know. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, because I want that one he talking about. I said, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. So I'm like, well, shit. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sister, we had our extra pairs in our attic. So I said, well, I can go up in my attic and put them on for the night. And then when I'm done, I just take them off and take them back and put them in the attic. So, you know, that night came, we did what we did, got the room, blah, blah, blah. I come home drunk, loaded. I forgot to put my shoes up. Went to school. I ain't thinking nothing of it. I'm at baseball practice. I'm out there on the mound pitching, warming up. So the school security guard come on the field and say, hey, Sydney, there's some people up there want to see you. I get up there. I noticed the agent, he just leaned against my car. So when I get up there, he say, you lied to me. I say, huh? You lied to me. I said, what you talking about? So now he say, pop this trunk. I say, hey, help yourself. I ain't got shit, you know. So he's searching and searching. I ain't finding nothing. But at the same time, he started talking shit. You lied, you lied, you lied. So finally when he got through, your ass going to jail. So he threw me in the car. So, but they threw me in there. I'm noticing all the students, they coming up to the front now, so, being nosy, seeing what's going on. So I see a guy named Ricky D. I said, hey, man, call my dad and tell him they got me. That was the worst phone call I ever can get. We hear the phone ringing from the outside. So we get in the house. My mom say, this Louisiana Tech on the phone. I ain't still thinking nothing of it, So I'm like, hello. The guy say, hey, man, I'm sorry. We got to take your scholarship. I'm like, what? I say, sir, I didn't do nothing. I'm out of jail. I'm innocent. He said, man, you pissed Michael Jordan off. He said, man, you got so much media and press down here on us at this school. I'm sorry. We got to take your scholarship. I say, well, I be damn. So now my dad looking at me like, what the f we gonna do now? So I just said, you know what? School and football. I'm doing my thing. We got an apartment. And so we used to get notices a lot. Like the manager of the apartment, she's either gonna let me or her know, like, hey, the sheriff's been coming by here. They saying about your apartment, narcotics, this and that. So I'm like, oh. So I said, well, I just keep the dope in the car and not in the house. So stuff started, it's going smooth. Here I go again, thinking shit over with. And one day I'm just chilling. I'm in the house. I got a laptop on my lap. My buddy had just left from the house. He like, man, I'm finna go outside and talk to this chick. I said, oh, man, hey, cool. I ain't thinking nothing of it. Man, we got guns all over the floor, dope everywhere. 2 minutes later, I knock on the door. So in my mind, I'm like, well, shit, he out there in the front. He should take care of that. You know what I'm saying? They started knocking. I'm like, God damn, what the hell? So I said, well, maybe that's old girl, because if some girls stayed up under us, they used to buy dope and shit, So I said, well, maybe that's them. So as I'm walking to the door, they started knocking.
Was it like a cop knock?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
It was just a regular knock. That's why I said I thought it was the girls downstairs,
Right.
So, and mind you, the door unlocked. It's not locked because my friend just left out. So some said, look through that peephole. Man, I looked through that peephole. All I saw was narcotics going across the front. I said, oh, God damn. Mind you, we're in the upstairs apartment, so I tiptoe. So I'm tiptoeing to the back, like, oh, shit. Because I don't want them to hear me just running, So I tiptoe my way to the back. Now I done grabbed all these guns, the drugs. I'm throwing stuff all in my drawers. And on the couch we had the kind where, you hit the thing and it lets your legs up. Mm-hmm. So I took all the pistols and I shoved them up under there and closed it up. I had an AK-47 in the closet, what I just bought maybe a week ago from Lou. So, I'm scared it's a bite on it, So they come bust on in. They bust in the house. I'm like, okay, So they like, yeah, you sitting there, you cold? Like, yes, sir. So now they searching and searching. So they done pulled out the big large trash bag. But it was empty, because I had sold everything by the time they came. But, it's still residue and stuff in the bag. So they see this and they like, hey, you got some more in here. Where the money? Where the shoe boxes? Where all the dope at? I said, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. So they find the gun, the AK. They didn't find all the other stuff I hid. So they running the gun now. I'm just sitting there just listening, waiting, like, please don't say this gun got a body. Please, Lord, please, because who I got it from, ooh, it might be one on there.
Right.
You know. So they came back clear. I said, whew, thank God. So as I'm walking to the front, they still certain how they stood out here talking. Where the shoe boxes of money? I'm like, God damn, what the hell? I don't know what y'all talking about. So they hud up just like the feds did on my ass. They hud up. They come up out there. They say, where's your car? I said, oh, shit. I said, I ain't got no car. They say, so you telling me that white Eclipse outside ain't your car? No, that ain't my car. He said, well, I tell you what, we finna run the license plate, and if it come back here, we finna go in there, and we finna call a K9 out here, and if he hit, he going in. I say, well, look, I tell you what. I say, look, this my mom's car. My mom let me use to get back and forth here and there, you know, so.
I don't know what mom's got in the trunk.
Yeah, you know, so I was like, hey, what we can do, we can call my mom and tell her, you know, just come get a car. He said, no, no, that ain't what we finna do. We finna get the K9 over, and if he bump, we going in. So once he said that, I said, well, the show is over. I'm gone, you know. So find the K9, get there, and he go sit right by the trunk. I said, oh, fuck. So the police, he popped my trunk. He just doing this. He just wiggling. He just coming out with everything. I said, God damn. So as I'm in the back seat, the police guy walk over and he say, man, this is some good. I say, it sure is. I keep the best. You know, fuck it. You know, hey, I'm caught. So now I'm gone. I'm back in the jail again. Mind you, my best friend got probably maybe a year before I went in. Mm-hmm. The same dude, they brought him in there with me.